Hey everybody, Hoosier Jedi here with another review for you. This time talking episode 10 of season 3 of The Flash, Borrowing Problems from the Future. And man, there's a lot going on in this episode. Remember, I was watching it, I kind of paused it about the halfway mark, and I'm like, it kind of feels like, wow, is this episode almost over? And I'm like, oh, no. This show's like barely halfway over. It's like, man. So let's get right into it. So, this is overall it's a good episode. It's just there's one big thing about it that really bothers me. It's the character sitting around is like, well, can we really change the future? You know the future can be changed. You know this. You guys know this much about time travel. I mean, the Reverse Flash changed the future when he altered it so that Barry got his powers now, rather than several years down the line. Never mind the fact that you guys have changed. I just can't even really go on this. It's just like such a dumb question for these characters to ask. Never mind the fact that they know guys who are time travelers. So it's like, if you really need to know, you could just call your friends. I mean, granted, the tapping the people from the other show to solve your problems for you is just not the way you do things in stories like this, or in comics in general, but still. I mean, it's the same reason why like Wally and Barry will always, when they go out to fight a bad guy, they'll stop and say something to them first before they fight, rather than running up behind them and punching them in the back of the head 50 times, which would be of course the smart way to use super speed to fight someone. But if they do that, there's no story. So that idiocy aside, let's just kind of get right into it. Let's discuss some other idiocy, which is namely keeping secrets from people on the team, which everybody has already agreed, probably multiple times, we really shouldn't do that. Over the course of this episode, Barry is keeping the whole, hey, I saw you murdered in the future thing from Iris. He eventually tells her, and she decides, hey, let's not tell Dad that I got murdered in the future. Because now granted, the whole, he'll try and do something stupid that'll probably get himself killed. Okay, there is that. But Joe will probably... No, I'm not going to go there. Just gonna leave it. Okay, so let's just kind of go through the list of everybody and talk about what's going on with them. So here we see HR sort of in his better element as an organizer, and he's doing pretty good. I mean, he does manage to whip this whole museum up out of nowhere. And they never even do bother to answer Cisco's question of where in the world he got the money for all of this. Probably from the same place that Star Labs gets the money to keep the lights turned on and for you guys to build all that stuff you're using to fight crime. I mean, I assume Star Labs has a number of profitable patents, and that, when Eobard Bond and the guys at Harrison Wells left Star Labs to Barry, that included the patents. So yeah, man, Barry is actually, now that I think about it, Barry's the owner of Star Labs, man. It also explains why he's able to probably afford such a posh place with Iris. And granted, it's a two-income situation, but still. But yeah, man, think about what Barry's taxes must be like. It's like, okay, when I was just a CSI, I can do it myself. Now I'm a CSI. I also own this gigantic laboratory in the middle of the city that, we've never bothered to repair the damage to from that explosion 4 years ago. Yeah. But anyway, one thing I didn't like about this whole situation is Cisco really did seem to be unnecessarily acting like a dick this episode. Now, granted, I mean, I kind of thought they made peace that, yeah, we're going to give HR a chance, and that he has more than once shown that he does have something of value to offer. It did strike me as a little weird that the whole, really, absolutely nobody comes to the Star Labs museum opening. This seems extremely contrived. I mean, something like this, there's no way some people wouldn't show up just out of idle curiosity. Now, granted, there being a charge at the door, well, that's a bit BS, but that is how it is for a lot of museums in the big city. I remember the last time I was able to spend a decent amount of time in Chicago. I went into some places like the National Natural History Museum. They wanted like $25. Like, man, I'm not paying $25 to look around a museum. It's like, you know what? I'll look around the lobby and I'll poke around the gift shop, and then I'm out of here. The only place I actually paid to get into was the observatory that they have by Lake Michigan, which was actually fairly reasonable. Plus, I just really happen to like observatories. And frankly, that observatory is not very big, but it's pretty cool. And frankly, I felt I got my money's worth there. But yeah, and that was the problem with like all the other museums in Chicago too. Art museum. I didn't even try the science museum. It's just like, God, charge a man an arm and a leg. Ugh, Chicago, great town, but boy, pricey at times. Anyway, let's see. We were talking about HR. If you've been paying attention to the previews, you know what's up with the lady popping out of the portal with this picture. Going to be a big deal next week. Cool there. The thing that bugged me most this episode is after the museum's opened, and Cisco is like, yeah, I invited a bunch of kids from the elementary schools, and they told their parents. It's just like, okay, I can't believe a guy like HR wouldn't have thought of that. I mean, inviting schools to museums for free in order to stir up publicity, even I could have thought of that. And, that's also kind of a well-known tactic in this sort of situations. But they went through the trouble of getting him that image inducer so that he could look like somebody else, so he could go out in public. And yet here he is at this museum opening, looking like Harrison Wells, who is known to be a wanted murderer. That's dumb. The writers dropped the ball on that one. Let's see. Not a huge amount here to say about Cisco this episode, beyond the idea that he was genuinely acting like a dick to HR far more than he should have. Yeah, that kind of about covers it. Good stuff with Wally this episode, him embracing the Kid Flash name, going out there showing the town that he has what it takes. Wasn't really too impressed by that whole little subplot of the cop played by Matt Parkman, Greg, what's his face, saying like Kid Flash doesn't have what it takes and he should just go and defend Keystone. I mean, never mind the fact that Kid Flash helped to save his life. I don't know, that just felt really weak, and you'd think that Wally would not let somebody like this get to him as much as it seemed to. But then again, shortly thereafter, he seems to have completely gotten over it and is not really reacting to it. So it's like, okay, is this going to be a big deal for Wally or not? Make up your mind. I mean, maybe they're planting a seed that'll pay off elsewhere, but still. It's just a case of like, okay, one random dude has a negative opinion of you. Wally, have you ever spent time on the internet? Some random jackass having a negative opinion of you is par for the course, almost as much as bad grammar is if you're on the internet. I mean, seriously, dude. But I did like how Barry did apologize to him for acting like a dick, and everybody rightfully said, like, Barry, you're being an ass here, and like Wally is ready for this. So points to the rest of the team for having Wally's back there. Let's see. I did like the stuff with Iris this episode, where she again shows that she knows Barry better than just about anybody. She knows when he's trying to put one over on her, and is like, okay, Barry, we're together now. We're sleeping together. We're living together. You need to be honest with me. So, points to Iris, and she does handle that whole "you're going to get murdered within the next couple of months" thing about as well as anybody possibly could. I mean, naturally she's freaked out and upset, but again, she has complete faith in Barry that they will find some way to beat this. So, good for Iris for handling a tough situation and for having faith in someone who she absolutely should have faith in. Let's see, what else? Nothing really particular to say about Joe this episode. My leg is starting to fall asleep. I did like how he did have that moment where he said, like, look, Barry, I'm the most overprotective daddy ever, but even I think you're being out of line. So good on Joe for that one. Let's see here. Now the Caitlin subplot. Now this is some interesting stuff. At first I was kind of annoyed with her. It's sort of like, okay, you're complaining about how you have to constantly charge these gadgets. Like, okay, these are things that are helping you keep your superpowered evil side under control. I mean, granted, constantly having to charge devices a pain in the butt. I mean, but really, how much worse is this than having like an old iPhone with crappy battery life? And I know what that's like because until like just a couple of weeks ago, I was still using an iPhone 4S. I have since upgraded happily to this lovely iPhone 7. I actually wanted the 7 Plus, but I went to the store and it only had like the 132 gig model. I'm like, I am never in my life going to need that much space on a phone. What do you think I'm going to do? Like, download like 5 seasons of Downtown Abbey or something? I don't know. I don't even watch that show. But whatever. Let's see. What was I saying? Oh, right, Caleb. I mean, how much worse is that than having a crummy phone or having to go for like dialysis from time to time? But she acts like this is the end of the world. Now, this is a little bit more justified later on in the episode where the gadget starts running out of juice. She has it goes off for like 5 seconds, and immediately her eyes start going all Killer Frost before she plugs it back in. So, if that's the case, then yeah, Caitlin being concerned is much more justifiable. But again, she's just complaining that these things are a pain in the ass. Not these things are not working as well as they should. I'm worried if they fail even for just a minute, something bad's going to happen. And the stuff between her and Julian, that was good stuff. I mean, where she kind of goes there to try and say, like, hey, I know what it's like to have this other side of yourself that has done evil things that you really weren't in control of. And it does draw a nice parallel between the two of them. And it was very in keeping with Julian's character to be pretty combative and more than a little bit of a dick. I did like how they used that Caitlin is a doctor when she spotted those sleeping pills to sort of like, hey man, you're not fooling me. I know this is bugging you. And even though it was a prime example of somebody offering another person a hand and having it slapped away. But even when Julian did that, Caitlin still continued to reach out to him. It's like, look, I know you probably want to make up for this, even though it wasn't really your fault. Why don't you work with us? Which, again, probably something she should have checked with the rest of the team on, but offering Julian some real compassion and a place to put his energy where he could be of real use and do some good and make up for it. Give him a positive outlet for this anguish that he's going through. That was very compassionate and also a very good move. I mean, he is the world's leading authority on metahumans. Having somebody like that on your side would probably be a big asset if you're trying to take down somebody as nasty as Savitar. Now, of course, this doesn't go over so well when the rest of the team finds out she made this offer without consulting them, but they roll with it pretty well. Barry, I don't really have a huge amount to say about Barry this episode. I mean, his reaction to finding out that Iris is going to die, of course, the whole keeping things from her. I mean, everything in here is just perfectly in keeping with what we've seen Barry do in the past. Yeah, it does feel a little bit like a retread of emotional arcs that we've seen before on the show, but not so much that I really feel that it hurts the episode that much. Barry should, at this point, know better than to try and keep secrets from the team. He should know that treating Wally the way he is a stupid way of dealing with the situation. But if you don't have characters not totally learning from their mistakes, if you don't have characters making bad decisions, then you don't really have a lot of drama. It's just the nature of the beast. Don't really have too much to say about the villain this episode, Plunder. He's not a character that I know particularly well. It's just like, okay, so the team names this guy, and then later we hear the media referring to him as Plunder. How did the name Plunder go from the people at Star Labs to being said on the news? I mean, we do see Wally call Murillo Plunder, but this is going to be like this isn't a name Murillo chose for himself. It's something a bunch of complete strangers slapped on him. I'm just sort of like amazed he didn't go like, who the heck is Plunder? Why are you calling me that? That would have been so funny. I really wish they had done that. And of course, there's some nice foreshadowing with stuff that's bound to happen later this season. That's going to be sounds like it's going to be pretty cool, especially the stuff involving Gorilla City. And I think that covers everything I had to say this episode. So yeah, guys, well, a few weak points here and there, but all in all, another solid episode of The Flash. A good note for the show to come back on after its winter break. With that said, we're going to call it here. As always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. Of course, you can join me on Twitter at Hoosier Jedi, and you can also find me on Tumblr at Jedi Reviewer. Until next time, take care, everybody.